Alright, well, after the short video I did on the use of the Scary Sharp sharpening system, and after some consultation with the makers of the system, I've been able to put together a hunter's pack for the forum members. Now, in it there'll be the frames for 2 stones. Now, either I can supply the stones from here, or it can be supplied without stones for those who prefer to use their own from their local sources. So we'll put that aside, and we'll use one of mine that I've already set up, and we'll show you how that is needed to be done. Now, the wee spanners are included in the kit, and once you've got the frame together and a stone in place, these plates, now one's got a hole in it and the other one is plain, and so the one with the hole in it is set up on the back so that the top of it is level with the top of this plate that's sitting here. So with those ones put aside, we'll set my frame up on there, and as you can see, with the back part of the frame and the front part of the frame on those little plates, the stone can rest down on the board itself. Now, the thing to watch for is to get this parallel to the tabletop, and often the face of these stones isn't exactly square, and so a small shim in the top will lower the nose of the bar, or conversely a shim on the underneath side of the stone will lift that to get it as parallel as you can to the bench top. This actually, if you exaggerate it, that would cause a rocking motion, so that you would have a curved rather than a flat secondary bevel, whereas with the straight bar parallel to the bench top, you get a nice flat and therefore a better cutting edge on your secondary bevel. So with that one aside, we'll look at the main frame. Now, the main frame has got 3 angles to set your bevels at. The bottom one, of course, is for heavier use knives and cleavers and choppers of that sort, at 25 degrees, and the centre one is the one that I use almost exclusively at 20 degrees. And then for those who are doing chef knives that are only used for slicing with no heavy cutting involved, then the 14 degrees is ideal for that. I find that most kitchen knives still benefit from the 20 degree angle, because they are used for more than just fine slicing, and so sometimes there's heavier cutting involved with them. Now, on each side of these locating holes, there's these pairs of holes here that are for the locating pins in the back of the beak set, and that is what ultimately gives this the rigidity and stability that for a repeatable bevel on your blades. Now we'll screw it down, and of course these are only light screws because it's simply a demonstration, but of course you'll use a more solid fixing. But for demonstration, this is sufficient. So with that locked in place, the 2 washers that are on the back of the beak set, they come off, of course, and they go on the back. So with that through the centre one, and the 2 locating pins into the corresponding holes on the main frame. The handle at the back can be screwed on. Now, that is as firm and as accurate as you're going to get. Now, one thing to be aware of is to use the little pot of grease to lubricate these stainless steel screws, because stainless into stainless can lock up on you. And the other thing is that some find if they're doing heavier knives that the pressure on these is possibly more than they want. So these screws can be taken out and these shims can be put in there, and that'll lighten up the pressure on the front of these. But for most hunting knife sizes, that's the way it's set up is perfectly adequate. Now, with this being put into the beak, I generally like to go to about half the width of the blade, and so then it's simply tightened down and the sharpening can go from there. I'm not going to sharpen this one. It's an old shop knife, and it has an edge that's sufficient for the work that it does, but it's you can see that's I haven't tightened that one. Now that's very firm in there. There's no movement in that, and so when you've got your stone on there, you've got the perfect 20-degree bevel, and that'll follow all the way around to ensure that the bevel is the same from the front of the knife to the back. And simply turning it over allows you to do the other side. And we won't go into the sharpening any further, because that's all explained in the video on the sharpening of them. So with that all explained, I would sincerely hope that you're as satisfied with the Scary Sharp sharpening system as I am. I've used it for every knife that I've sent away, and I can't recommend it highly enough. So with that said, I hope you're going to look favourably on getting one for your own needs. So we'll sharpen a few knives. There's a few that we've done, and we've still got a few more to do. What I'd start off with, I have already done a preliminary secondary grind on the belt grinder, but to finish them off on this Scary Sharp system, I put a piece of tape on the blade so the beak on that doesn't scratch the blade, seeing as it's all reasonably well sanded. So and so long as we keep this edge here parallel to the back of it, it all runs pretty good. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then this is a silicon carbide stone. It's just a little coarser than my fine stone, but it does cut reasonably aggressively. Just a mix of canola oil and kerosene. As long as you keep square to that edge as you come around the belly and up to the point, you're keeping the same angle all the way around. And you can feel the wire edge. Basically, this is just refining what the belt grinder has done as a preliminary on the secondary bevel. You can feel that all the way around. Now step back and give this a clean off with brake clean. That takes all the muck out of the stone. Back over and do the fine stone on here. Nicely, very fine wire edge on there. Now we'll clean this stone. Oil off there and finish it on the strop. And this has got the green compound on it. And that should be sharp. So slice cut so that you can't feel any nicks all the way along the blade, and then a push cut. And if it'll do a push cut, you know that it's sharp. So that's another one done. So there's our sheath for that one there. Put that one in with the done box and move on to another one out of this box that are about to be done.